Day for only $1.90.
Tonight, a local homeless man comes to the aid of two boys in trouble. How his actions can help catch Fox 12's Most Wanted before your kids become victims. A relaxing horse ride turns into a frantic rescue to save a man's life.
When you go into shock, you just start getting worried.
Only on 12, the hard decision the victim's wife had to make in order for him to survive. The Rolling Thunder Ride honors fallen veterans every Memorial Day weekend. We'll take you to the emotional ride, plus see how you can honor local vets. But first, a mother accused of killing her 4-year-old son arrested.
You know, everything seemed great with the kids.
Tonight, we talk with neighbors who say she seemed like a good mother who loved her kids. Their reaction to the news is first on Fox. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sophie Sung. Chad Carter has a night off. First on Fox, new information tonight on the mother who police say killed her 4-year-old son and tried to kill her 7-year-old daughter. Police arrested Amanda Stott Smith yesterday after her 2 kids were found in the Willamette River near the Selwood Bridge. KPTV's Mark Hanrahan is live in Selwood tonight with the very latest. Mark.
Well, Sophie, Stott Smith is facing aggravated murder and attempted aggravated murder. Her 7-year-old daughter, who was found alive here in the Willamette River at last check, was listed in serious condition, although police say she's a fighter and is improving tonight.
This is Amanda Stott Smith after being booked into jail, accused of killing her 4-year-old son and trying to kill her 7-year-old daughter.
It don't make no sense.
They were really nice people.
It just blows your mind.
The accusations are still hard to believe for Stott Smith's neighbors, who tell us she lived in this Tualatin home with her kids until a couple of weeks ago.
Everything really seemed good all the time, you know. The kids always seemed happy.
But police say early Saturday morning that all changed. At around 1:20 a.m., they were called to the Willamette River near the Selwood Bridge after someone reported hearing screams coming from the water. A massive search involving police, firefighters, sheriff's deputies, and the Coast Guard followed. But it was a couple living on a nearby houseboat following the same screams that plucked the 2 kids from the water about a half hour after the first calls came in. Police say the girl was alive. Sadly, though, her little brother had drowned. 5 hours later, police found Stott Smith on the 9th floor of this downtown Portland parking garage and took her into custody.
It's just a tragedy. I would never, ever think anything like that would happen.
For neighbors like Ray Freehoff, it just doesn't add up. He and others we talked to described Stott Smith as a caring mother who always walked her kids to and from nearby Edward Byram Elementary School.
She was a totally nice person, very polite. Very well-mannered. Kids were well-mannered, clean, nice.
And even though court records show she and her husband filed for divorce a couple of months ago, neighbors tell us there was never any indication she was capable of turning on her kids.
She was always very pleasant and very happy, and her kids were always happy with her.
Now, Stott Smith is scheduled to be arraigned on the aggravated murder and attempted aggravated murder charges on Tuesday. For now, reporting live in Southeast Portland, I'm Mark Hanrahan, the 10 o'clock news.
A young boy died after he fell out of a second-story window at his family's new home. Police say the 4-year-old fell from the window around 8 o'clock last night in Malala. Authorities say the boy's family had just moved into the house and they had been hosting a housewarming party. He and some friends were playing upstairs when he pushed on the screen of an open window. Police say he fell about 20 feet onto some cement below.
My daughter called us up and said that some little kid had fell out of the window, either in front or in back, and at the time we didn't know it, but then we spotted that there was a screen halfway out in the back of the house and that he fell out.
And tonight, police are reminding parents not to open upstairs windows any more than 2 inches. Also, make sure there's some sort of guard in place to keep children from opening windows. We have new details in a Salem death investigation tonight. Oregon State Police say a man died after he got into a fight with police. We told you about the story as breaking news last night. It happened at the Carriage Apartments on Ray Vaughn Avenue Southeast. Someone called police to report that Gregory Rold was at the complex, which he had been banned from. KPTV's Marilyn Deutsch has more from the Fox 12 newsroom.
Salem police say they took out their tasers and their batons only after Gregory Rold violently resisted arrest.
Neighbors can't say exactly what happened here Saturday night since Rold and the police met behind closed doors in apartment number 5.
Until recently, Gregory Rold lived here with his mother, but Rold was apparently kicked out of the apartment complex for making sexually explicit comments and disturbing and threatening gestures to women and children. Audrey Parker lives in the apartment complex, and she's had her own problems with Rold.
He was very confrontational, and he would, try to, stick up and act like he didn't do anything.
Parker says Rold returned last night to visit his mother. But since Rold had been banned from the apartments, Parker told the staff, who called police. And police went to apartment number 5.
They had told him to open the door, and you heard him open the door, and you heard them say, "Get down on the ground."
Neighbors say they heard yelling, the sound of tasers, and beating batons.
You hear him fighting and trying, screaming for help. His mom's at the window, help, that's my son, look what you're doing to my son.
And it went silent. And you heard, more tasers and more batons.
For several minutes, neighbors say they had no idea what was going on.
The next thing we see, as neighbors, is them bringing him down and, a breathing tube down his throat and them trying to resuscitate him.
Police say Rold died roughly 2 hours later at Salem Hospital. Gregory Rold is described as mentally disabled with a history of minor crimes. But back in 2004, he was arrested for resisting arrest and assaulting a police officer. Still, neighbors think Salem police may have gone too far.
Was he really that much of a harm for his life to be taken?
Nobody deserves to go out like that. Nobody.
One Salem police officer was hurt in the fight. In all, 4 officers have been put on administrative leave. In the Fox 12 newsroom, Marilyn Deutsch, the 10 o'clock news.
We have new details tonight about an Arizona plane crash that killed 2 Oregon men. Yavapai County Sheriff's deputies have identified Scott Resnick and Dalen Harrington as the crash victims. Both men were from Beaverton. You're seeing footage of Resnick here. His wife works with us at KPTV. The crash happened yesterday morning in a rural area near Prescott. The National Transportation Safety Board is continuing to investigate the cause of the crash. Right now, Washington County deputies are on the lookout for a suspected strong-armed robber. Deputies say the suspect stole a woman's purse at a McDonald's in the Cedar Hills area earlier this evening. They also say the suspect made off with some movies from the Red Box DVD rental. Deputies searched the area around Cornell and 135th with a canine unit, but so far, they have not found the suspect. In Aloha, a Memorial Day party had an abrupt ending when an SUV crashed into the house on the intersection of Sister Lane and 206th Street. Deputies say this SUV ran into the house. Fox 12 spoke with the woman who lives there, and she says she felt the whole house shake.
I'm just glad we were all inside because my kids play out here all the time, and the neighbor kids play out here all the time, and it was my husband's birthday, so we were all inside having family time.
She said no one was hurt. Washington County deputies say the 19-year-old driver dropped his cigarette, and that caused him to swerve and run into the porch. At this time, deputies have not ticketed the driver.
Now, Portland's first weather at 10.
Talk about great weather for Memorial Day weekend. Here is a look through our Chinook Winds Beach Cam time-lapse from today. Lots of folks headed to the beach. We had sun there and some comfortable temperatures inland. 74 degrees in Portland, 73 in Salem, above average for this time of year. Normally we are in the upper 60s around the Portland area. We had a high temperature of 80 degrees in Pendleton, so some toastier conditions east of the Cascades. High temperatures in the Portland metro area reached the low to mid 70s. Right now we're in the mid 60s, and we do have some more nice weather on the way for Memorial Day and in your 7-day forecast. I'll have all the details on that coming up in a bit.
Only on 12, a day of horseback riding turns into a frantic rescue mission after a man gets stranded on a remote trail in rural Washington County. Around 1:30 this afternoon, a woman called for help when her husband fell off his horse near Northwest Cochran and Round Top Drive outside of Timber. KPTV's Brent Weisberg was at today's rescue and has a story you'll see only on 12. Brent.
Yeah, authorities say it was a combination of technology and teamwork that made this rescue mission such a success.
Just day of riding. Yeah, just out cruising the trails.
It was supposed to be a day of leisure for Tracy and her husband Dwayne.
So it kind of flung him off to the side, and flipped him over the horse, and so he kind of busted up his knee a little bit.
But all of a sudden, Dwayne's horse got a little too close to Mother Nature.
This was my knee, it's my leg, I think I broke it.
And that left Tracy in a tough spot.
Oh, it was very scary. Yeah, anybody that falls off a horse, are you okay? Did you hit your head? What happened?
She and her husband were miles from their campsite, and Tracy made the tough decision to leave her husband's side and make the trek down the mountain to get help.
Firecom actually get the cell phone tracking from her cell phone to give us pinpoint location of where she was at.
Eventually, more than a half dozen rescue crews raced to the remote area,
And there was a couple of them that actually hiked up that 6-mile track.
including firefighter Scott Arlen.
Actually, I got on the back of a horse and rode 2.5 miles up the canyon.
When Scott reached Tracy's husband, he was in good spirits.
We actually had Coast Guard en route. They diverted in case we had to do an airlift out.
But they didn't need that helicopter. Paramedics eventually hoisted Dwayne down the canyon and off to the hospital.
He was getting to the point where he probably could have gotten a little bit worse if it took any longer to get there.
Both Scott and Tracy are thankful this rescue went off like clockwork.
They're rare and far and few between, but it's good to be prepared and have the resources available to go in and get them, and it was a good outcome. So.
Tonight, we are told that Dwayne is recovering at home. Firefighters say he did suffer from a broken leg, but his wife says this probably won't stop them from getting back on their horses again. Reporting live tonight in News Control, Brent Weisberg, the 10 o'clock news.
The 10 o'clock news is just getting started.
A controversial sign posted for parents to see.
Hit a cat and I'll hit your kid.
Why the woman behind the sign says it has helped make the entire neighborhood safer. A cop goes for a wild ride when he tries to talk to a suspect about a stolen lawnmower. Caught on camera, see what happens as he hangs on to the speeding car. An entire country blocked from using Facebook. How political reform is behind the move. Big changes are coming to the cars and trucks you drive due to the new emission standards. Find out what it will mean for your family's safety when you get behind the wheel.
More nice weather on the way for your Memorial Day. I'll have your holiday forecast coming up.
You're watching the 10 o'clock news. First, live, local.
It's Monday. A patient's mysterious past leads to a secret no one could imagine.
What did you do?
House.
Monday at 8 on Fox 12 Oregon.
We've got the car or truck you want at VancouverToyota.com.
Vancouver Toyota was totally easy to do business with. If I knew somebody that was looking for a car, I would tell them to go straight to McCord.
It's time to raise the bar and replace your old mayo with the full flavor of Kraft Mayo with olive oil. With half the fat and calories of Hellmann's Real Mayo, Kraft Mayo with olive oil is the new standard in mayo.
One size fits all doesn't fit these economic times, which is why a diverse range of companies choose Quest. From retailers to hospitals, pro sports teams to boat dealerships, universities to space agencies. Because Quest has the agility to help with its tailored voice and data solutions backed by a national fiber optic network. See what Quest can do for you, no matter the size of your business. Get Quest. Get nimble.
$30 billion worth of gold could be up for grabs. Details on a modern-day gold rush coming up on the 10 o'clock news. First, live, local.
Sleep Country's super sale is going out with a bang because through Memorial Day, you can get free financing for 3 years on selected mattress sets. Save up to $500 on Beauty Rest and Posturepedic sets. Save up to $300 on fashion beds, futons, and convertible sofas. Get 36 months free financing plus a free bed frame with Tempur-Pedic or the Sleep Number bed. But hurry, the super sale disappears Memorial Day.
What are you waiting for? You may never have this kind of buying power again. Now's the perfect time to get an amazing deal on a new Toyota. Get 0% APR for 60 months on many of your favorite Toyota models, like the 2009 Toyota Camry, the fun-to-drive Corolla, or the fuel-efficient Prius. Hurry into Toyota's perfect timing event today.
Looks like we're going to see plenty of rain over the next week. As we get a little bit later in the day, we should see plenty of sunshine. What started out as drizzle this morning could end up with a lot of rain this afternoon. Nice sunshine over the weekend.
Stay on top of the changing spring weather with Andy Carson's first live local forecast. Weekday mornings from 4:30 to 9 on Good Day Oregon.
clocked going more than 100 miles an hour said he was on his way to church. Oregon State Police arrested Brian Boertian on southbound I-205 near Foster Road this morning. Troopers say he was driving recklessly, and at one point they clocked him at 110 miles an hour. When the troopers stopped him, he told them he was on his way to church with his mom. Police ticketed him for speeding. A man got arrested after state police say he couldn't keep his car in the lane. They arrested Alfredo Huizar near Madras last night. Troopers say when they tried to stop him, he took off going about 100 miles an hour. Troopers eventually stopped the man after he drove into the wrong lane of traffic for about 2 miles. He now faces several charges, including DUI and driving with a suspended license. We will all be living green once automakers develop new cars that meet President Obama's new fuel efficiency and pollution standards. Under the plans, the auto industry must build cars that average 35 miles per gallon by 2016. And those cars would be required to emit about 1/3 less carbon dioxide. What will the new vehicles look like? For KPTV, Dan Springer gives us a look.
Tougher fuel standards mean big changes on the road. No more lots stuffed with full-size sedans, trucks, and SUVs. A new generation of subcompacts, hybrid and electric vehicles will be the new normal. Hyundai says it will be ready a year early using technology that already exists.
We're looking at things like using smaller engines but with turbochargers. The advantage to this is that most of the time you don't need power, not functional, so use a smaller engine. And then on the unusual circumstances, like merging on freeways for a few minutes, you need a little extra burst of power, the turbocharger provides it.
Other ideas include gas engines that shut down when idling, lighter, more aerodynamic bodies, and tires that cause less friction with the road. The downside there, longer stopping distance. Since weight is the enemy of fuel economy, engineers will be scrambling to take about 250 pounds out of each vehicle. In addition to smaller engines, that means aluminum replacing some steel and more use of plastics. And instead of marketing extra amenities, car companies will decide what things drivers can live without.
There's going to be a difficult business balancing act to go on there. But yeah, I think in the short term, it's just the marketing is really going to say, let's be rational. You don't need a big SUV to commute. What you need is a nice small car or sedan.
And safety will take a hit. Light, small cars don't measure up well in crash tests. And Americans who want to keep their big, safe ride will pay extra.
They may find that the way to improve efficiency is to reduce safety. The safety of the cars may not be as good as consumers want.
Detroit promises it can deliver, but worries about gas prices. Buyers have proven that under $4 a gallon, they're not interested in paying more for a fuel-efficient car, raising speculation that a big gasoline tax will be the next step in making consumers drive small. In Seattle, Dan Springer, Fox News.
Controversy is growing with Alaska's latest gold rush. Natives are fighting for the right to develop mines, but environmentalists are trying to stop it. An estimated $30 billion worth of gold sits inside the remote hills in southwestern Alaska. Callista Corporation is owned by Alaskan natives and has partnered with an international mineral company to develop the gold mine.
It's economic stimulus supposed to help the poor. We're the most poorest, impoverished census district in America, Wade Hampton. It is #1.
We would be part of a vibrant economy. We would be paying taxes instead of living on taxes.
Environmentalists say the methods used will damage the local fishing industry. It could be years until the first gold is mined, since an environmental review of the area will take at least 2 years. Fox 12 is on Pump Patrol this Memorial Day weekend. The national average for a gallon of regular unleaded is about $2.42. Around Oregon, the price has gone up more than a quarter since last month. You're now paying about $2.50 a gallon. And if you're heading north to Washington, you'll be paying more at $2.61. We have more information on Fox 12's Pump Patrol at kptv.com. If you're getting around the city on the bus, you may have noticed some service changes that have now taken effect. 18 bus lines have shifted from 3rd and 4th Avenues in downtown Portland back to the renovated Portland Mall on 5th and 6th Avenues. TriMet and police want everyone to know the new rules on 5th and 6th, which include only driving in the left lane and no right-hand turns. We talked to one person who says they're glad the work is over.
I think it's great. I'm excited that things are going to be a little more accessible and in the right place, and yeah.
These are just a few of the many changes that started today. For a full list of updates, like the Northeast 33rd Avenue bus changing its route and number, head to our website at kptv.com for a link to all of the TriMet changes. Still ahead on the 10 o'clock news, they make noise to remember their fallen brothers. We'll take you to the rally of the Rolling Thunder, where thousands of bikes take over the nation's capital. Plus, he never let his disabilities get in his way. See how one local man turned a challenge into his mission to play the bass guitar.
And a live look outside through our river camera. The river was a busy place for today, and it's going to be again tomorrow. Lots of sunshine in the forecast. I'll have details coming up.
You're watching the 10 o'clock news. First, live, local.
Ashley Furniture Home Store Memorial Day Factory Authorized Sale is this week only. Factory authorized prices. This 3-piece queen bed only $299, plus no interest till 2011. Come visit us in Tanasbourne, Clackamas, and Salem.
While everyone else is trying to imitate your Pacific Northwest Hyundai dealers, nobody can say what Hyundai can say. Only Hyundai can say if you lose your job, you can bring it back with the Hyundai Assurance. Only Hyundai can say you're covered with America's best warranty. 10-year, 100,000 miles. And only Hyundai really knows how to say sales event. Drive a Hyundai Sonata with more MPG and double the warranty of Camry. And right now, you'll get up to $3,500 in additional savings. Discover what only Hyundai can say. Visit your Pacific Northwest Hyundai dealers today.
Thousands of Oregonians will lose their homes to foreclosure this year, but there is hope. First American Consulting Group is a locally owned company of top industry professionals assisting homeowners in renegotiating their mortgage throughout the Portland metropolitan area. If you're currently employed, struggling to make mortgage payments, or behind on those payments, and you want to keep your home, First American Consulting Group would like to hear from you. Call us today at 503-928-8889 for a free, no-obligation consultation.
The time to buy is now during Kelly's Memorial Day sale. At Kelly's, save up to 40% on refrigerators, washers and dryers, cooking appliances, dishwashers, mattresses, big screens, and more. And make no down payment and pay no interest for 12 months. Hurry, it's happening now, only at Kelly's in Salem.
Still tonight, see what makes the Fox 12 final cut. They're called granny cams, and health officials say they can stop abuse at nursing homes. Why some say it's a bad idea. A store gets swarmed and the infestation closes down the business. Plus, how this car got caught on a power pole. Those stories and everything else you need to know tonight.
Tired of nighttime breathing problems? Here's the solution. Is it a bandage, you ask? No. It's famous drug-free Breathe Right. Ingenious flexible strips that fit your nose to gently open your nasal passages for up to 31% more airflow.
Wow!
You'll breathe better, so you'll sleep better. Small strip, big relief, bright idea. Breathe better, sleep better, breathe right.
Look at this. Buy 3-night package, get 2 more nights free.
Oh, we can do that.
Be great for Grace's birthday.
Buy a 3-night Disneyland resort room and ticket package and get 2 more nights free. Book by August 11th. Plan your vacation today at disneyland.com/affordable.
Well, tomorrow, of course, is Memorial Day, and there are plenty of different ways you can pay tribute to those who fought for our freedom. The annual Memorial Day ceremony at the Oregon-Vietnam Veterans Memorial will start at 10 tomorrow morning. The memorial is located on Southwest Canyon Road in Portland. At the Memorial Coliseum, the Veterans for Peace will commemorate the day at the Forgotten Walls at 11:30. And Oregon Air National Guard will do flyovers of several ceremonies. The first one is at 10 in Scappoose, and the final one of the day will be over Waterfront Park around 2:30. For a complete list, head to kptv.com. The roar of motorcycles helped honor the military this Memorial Day weekend. You're seeing the annual Rolling Thunder Rally at the nation's capital. Each year, thousands of bikers from across the country ride through the city to remember the sacrifices of servicemen and women.
You know, you've heard the stories, baby killers and all that stuff, and you heard all that stuff. No respect. And I think that's why the Iraqi veterans and the Kuwaiti veterans and Afghanistan veterans are getting the respect, because We're the generation before them. We know what we went through, and we don't want them to go through what we went through.
Nearly 500,000 bikers took part in the Rolling Thunder Rally. Well, this man is unique as far as American veterans go. He was in the Army Air Corps in World War II. Then he served in the Air Force during the Korean and Vietnam Wars. That makes him a veteran of 3 wars where 500,000 American soldiers, Marines, airmen, and sailors lost their lives. Now, he says he didn't spend much time in combat situations, but still saw his fair share of action.
I've been getting bombed a few times and stuff like that, but nothing real serious.
He says he doesn't judge what other people do with their Memorial Day weekend, but for him, his thoughts are here with the soldiers that never made it home. All right, Steph here with a look at that forecast for us.
Great weather for a barbecue tomorrow. We had great weather for one today. I'll have all the details on how much warmer tomorrow is going to be coming up in your first live local forecast.
The Atlantis crew is back on Earth tonight. How this mission will help scientists for years to come. Plus, a local man sees 2 boys in trouble and steps in to help. How his good deed could have cost him his life. A woman threatens drivers that if they hit her cat, she'll hit their kid. The reason behind the harsh words and how she has softened her stance tonight.
I'm Matt Smith. Coming up tonight on Oregon Sports Final, you'll meet the local man warming up for a shot at $50,000. But only if he could beat NBA star Dwayne Wade in a game of horse. Plus, Trailblazers assistant general manager Tom Penn is our one-on-one guest. He used to handle drug and murder trials, but says Portland is his future. That's tonight at 11 on Oregon Sports Final.
You're watching the 10 o'clock news. First, live, local.
Looking for a great local job? Here are a few Northwest jobs from Fox 12 Oregon, powered by JobDango.com. In Portland, Wagoner Edstrom Worldwide is hiring a senior web developer. In Corvallis, Express Employment Professionals is hiring experienced concrete workers. And in Oregon City, Pacific Medical Group is hiring a medical lab tech. For details on these local jobs and thousands more, or to advertise your jobs, go to KPTV.com and click on Northwest Jobs at the left side of our homepage.
Okay, kids, listen up. There are a few guarantees in life, and this isn't going to be one of them. But it's pretty close. Bob Lanfear's Beaverton Kia has sold so many of the 08 Kia Spectras at 11,544 that they're almost out of them. Notice I said almost. But we think we have enough to say that if you leave right now and go to Beaverton Kia, you'll pay $5,000 under sticker for an 08 Kia Spectra or an 08 Kia Optima. At $13,577, you'll pay $5,000 under sticker for that car too. Beaverton Kia. It's different here.
It's my last night in town. I want to find a nice restaurant to take you guys.
How about the deli?
We were just there for lunch.
So they can't make dinner?
Dex, I want to find a nice restaurant.
And in the neighborhood.
And in the neighborhood.
Bernacci's on Bayside Drive. Reviewers gave it 5 stars.
What about a senior's discount?
Yes.
And not too late.
Dinner service starts at 4:30.
I get cranky when I eat late.
He does. He gets cranky.
The new DexKnows.com. Smarter than your average search. More exact, more detailed, a lot more local. DexKnows.com.
An inspirational story of a local man who never gave up, even after becoming a quadriplegic. See the amazing feat he accomplished coming up on the 10 o'clock news.
So, you don't think we overdid it, right?
No, now that we're this plump, people are gonna love us. Check this out. Howdy, ma'am. How'd you like some fresh Foster Farms plumpy chicken?
You're not a Foster Farms chicken. You're all plumped up with salt water. So you weigh more and I pay more.
Who wouldn't want to pay more for this?
Uh-oh. Can I talk to you?
Yeah, what do you need, buddy? Wow, you sprung a leak!
He's a plumper! He's a plumper!
Ah! Cork it!
Say no to plumping. Foster Farms. Always natural, always fresh.
A-Boy is going out of business at these locations. Everything must go now.
This is the Civic Value Package. It has a lower true cost of ownership than its competition, which can help save you money down the road on things like insurance and maintenance. It's also remarkably fuel efficient. And at only $149 a month, the name Value Package just makes a lot of sense. Both kinds. Go to Edmunds.com for an independent report on the true cost to own a Civic. And then check out the affordable leases and low financing you'll find at your Honda dealer.
After being diverted due to bad weather, the space shuttle Atlantis crew is now back on planet Earth. A 7-member crew rolled into Edwards Air Force Base earlier today. They recently made 5 spacewalks to refurbish the Hubble telescope. The Atlantis had been diverted to California after stormy skies prevented a landing in Florida.
At last, we're back on the ground. It's great to be here at Edwards Air Force Base and NASA Dryden. Having this facility for us to come home to today is just awesome.
NASA says Hubble will now be able to beam pictures of the universe for another 5 to 10 years. This was the final mission to Hubble, the last time astronauts will visit that telescope. A Portland craftsman is helping to launch an inspiring musical journey. It involves a world-renowned adventurer who recently traveled to the Northwest for a face-to-face meeting. KPTV's Mark Liszewski has the story.
Patrick Rummerfield is a true journeyman. The St. Louis man raced in Hawaii's Ironman triathlon, ran in the Antarctica Marathon, set the 245-mile-per-hour world land speed record in an electric car, plus 30 other world firsts. He's also the first fully functional quadriplegic in the history of medicine.
You never give up, you never give in. With an iron will, you'll always win.
A high-speed car crash back in 1974 left Rummerfield paralyzed from the neck down. He then taught himself how to walk again over the next 17 years. But a new problem appeared 2 years ago.
I'm starting to lose my fine motor skills with my fingers.
Doctors and physical therapists recommend learning how to play the bass guitar.
I needed to find something that was entertaining, exciting, and fun to do, and at the same time, I would get the physical benefits of practicing.
He discovered a normal-sized bass was too heavy and uncomfortable to play.
At first, I mean, it was just incredibly hard just trying to get your fingers to the right position.
Patrick's search for a solution led him to Portland bass maker David King.
When I heard what he's been through and what his limitations were, and to think that he wanted to be a bass player, you know, it meant so much for me to be a part of that, to try to help him any way I could.
King is designing a custom downsized electric bass for Rummerfield, similar to this one.
I think my challenge is simply going to be to make something that's light and as stiff as possible.
I mean, he shaved this bass down to roughly 4 pounds, which is incredible.
If you can just individualize, you know, and make these 2 fingers independent, you're going to be way ahead of the game.
It's just amazing how music can become therapeutic. Since I've started, I mean, I've fallen in love with it.
Patrick Rummerfield ultimately hopes his new musical journey will inspire others to embrace his zeal for living life to the max. Mark Liszewski, the 10 o'clock news.
With the sun shining over the Rose City this weekend, it's no surprise many of you headed down to Waterfront Village today. Rose Festival festivities are in full swing after the village officially opened up on Friday. Many people we spoke with today say it was a perfect weather for food and fun, but most of all, for family.
Being with the family. We haven't been out in a while, so it's just nice to get out in gorgeous weather and enjoy the day.
Oh, I just enjoy time with my family. Have fun with the rides.
If you haven't headed down to Waterfront Village yet, Memorial Day could be a great time. A 21-gun salute, National Guard flyover, and plenty of special events are on tap for tomorrow. Get your running shoes on and get in on the race. Fox 12 is proud to sponsor the Helvetia Half Marathon. 13.1-mile race takes place Saturday, June 13th, but you need to register now to secure your spot. So log on to kptv.com and get involved. Fox 12 meteorologist Stephanie Krolevich is here with a look at our forecast. So tomorrow, lots of people off, not having to go to work, and they're hoping this nice weather will stick around.
Yes, great weather for anything you have planned outside for tomorrow. We had gorgeous weather today. Here is some video from downtown Portland. This was taken down at the waterfront today. Lots of folks on bikes, little jogs, just laying out on the grass, and plenty of boaters as well. We'll see more sunshine for tomorrow, and temperatures pretty close to where they were today. We'll be in the mid-70s. Okay, let's take a look at our satellite and radar picture. Remember those thunderstorms and showers we had in eastern Oregon yesterday afternoon? Well, we really didn't see much of that action for today. It was a calm day, lots of sunshine. Once we got rid of those low morning clouds, we're going to see those reform in the Portland area again for tomorrow morning, but they should be gone by about 9 or 10 in the morning. Then we'll see mostly sunny skies. Temperatures right now with the clear conditions right around 60 degrees in Portland after that high of 74 for today. Well above average and right at what we were yesterday for a high temperature. Tomorrow it looks like we'll be maybe a degree or 2 warmer than today. 68 currently in the Dalles, 65 in Pendleton, and we're looking at a nice and toasty day east of the Cascades as well for tomorrow. The forecast for tonight, cloudy out along the coast. We're seeing those clouds reform as we speak at the beaches, and we'll get some sun breaks there in the afternoon, but it's going to start off mostly cloudy at the beach for tomorrow. And inland, we'll see just some morning low clouds, plenty of sunshine by the later morning hours. I think the clouds will have burned off by 10 a.m., maybe 11 at the very latest for tomorrow in the Portland metro area. Clear east of the Cascades, of course, as we have that ridge of high pressure still in control of our weather, still keeping the moisture offshore, but you can see we do have plenty of it kind of hanging out there, and that's going to bring us an increase in clouds tomorrow night into Tuesday morning. It's just going to be cloudy. It'll still stay dry. We could get a little bit of drizzle out along the Oregon coast, especially the northern part of the coast, and of course the coast along the southern Washington coast there. They'll be seeing a little bit of drizzle as well. But the rest of us are looking dry with just an increase in cloud cover, maybe a little bit of a dip in temperature as well as far as highs go. The cloud rain forecast plays out like this. We're going to be seeing just a little bit of an increase in clouds tomorrow in the evening hours, and then those clouds will kind of thicken up as we get toward Tuesday morning, but expect plenty of sun breaks by Tuesday afternoon, and Wednesday is looking mostly sunny as well. Just a few passing clouds from time to time. And as you can see, we stay dry not only through Wednesday, but through the rest of the week. I'll have more on that in a 7-day. East of the Cascades, sunny and warm with a little bit of a breeze, and out along the gorge we'll see gusts of up to 25 miles per hour. Tomorrow will be a little bit breezy up at the mountain as well, but what a gorgeous day. Those clouds that I was talking about that will be with us in the morning, they're going to be at about 2,000 feet. So if you head up to the Cascades, you will be cloud-free all day long. No morning cloud cover there as long as you're up above about 2,000 feet. West of the Cascades, just those patchy morning clouds in the valley, then plenty of sunshine. The clouds kind of hang around a little bit longer, but still great Memorial Day weekend conditions, especially if you consider the very stormy weather we had last year on Memorial Day weekend. So 75 your high temperature for Portland tomorrow. Great weather for a barbecue, maybe a visit down to the rides at the waterfront. Perfect temperatures, certainly short sleeve weather, but you can get away with pants or shorts because the temperature's very comfortable. Winds will be between 5 and 15 miles per hour. Brief morning clouds and sunshine on the east side, so a little bit of a breeze and kind of a gray start for some folks, but those clouds will burn off rather quickly. By noontime, we'll be mostly sunny, 62 and 75 your high for tomorrow. Cools down briefly, then warms right back up. By the time we get into Thursday, we'll be in the 80s. No rain in sight for the next 7 days, and I'll have more at the end of the broadcast.
Frightening hits in tonight's final cut, like the woman who found 6 bullet holes in her home, who police think opened fire, hitting a little girl in the head. Plus, a celebration turns violent after a fight breaks out at a graduation party. Details on the deadly shootout that ends with several people getting hit. And don't even think about hitting this woman's cat, the frightening sign and slogan she's come up with to warn people to leave her pet alone. Stay tuned, the final cut is next.
You're watching the 10 o'clock news. First, live, local.
At your Northwest Chevy dealers, test drive any new Chevrolet and enter for your chance to win an all-new 2010 Camaro. Go to nwchevysweepstakes.com for details.
What would I do without you? What would I do without
You and your Kaiser Permanente team. Together, you rock.
Smell rotten eggs? That could be a gas leak. Don't look for it. Leave your home and call Northwest Natural. We'll come out and make sure everything's safe. Call us at 800-882-3377.
Okay, I get it. These 10 sprinkles represent our friends and family, the 10 people we can call whatever network they're on without using our minutes.
That's included, no extra cost.
Then these would be like the 80 million people on Verizon Wireless we can also call?
Yep, also included. Do you want whipped cream?
Save minutes and money with Verizon Wireless. Unlimited calling to 10 out-of-network numbers, even landlines. Plus, get America's largest mobile-to-mobile calling family. And now get a Samsung Alias 2 for $79.99 and get up to 4 phones free.
Could a little device be the answer to elderly abuse, or is it an invasion of privacy? Hear the debate and more next on the Fox 12 Final Cut.
We're always glad to see you at J. Lee's Gladstone Honda.
Now lease this 2009 Honda Accord for just $199.53 per month.
It's easy to do business at J. Lee's Honda. Come see us today on Southeast McLaughlin Boulevard in Gladstone or at jlees.com. You'll be glad you did.
At Penguin Windows, we want to say thanks for 25 great years. Our customers will tell you triple pane Penguin windows practically pay for themselves.
They had proven their case that they were going to be more efficient, that in the summertime it was going to keep the heat out, and in the wintertime it was going to keep the heat in, and it's sure proven out that way.
Find out about triple pane Penguin windows and enter to win our $25,000 thank you giveaway at penguinwindows.com. Penguin Windows, there's nothing else like them.
In through the nose and out with a whoo. Good job. Go ahead. Breathe in. Whoo. And through. Is your wife here?
Oh, no, I'm not married. I'm just using your Wi-Fi. So, can I have a pillow?
Free Wi-Fi at places you'll actually want to go. Now all Quest Internet customers get free access to the nation's largest Wi-Fi hotspot network, powered by AT&T Wi-Fi. Quest high-speed internet from $14.99 a month.
RoyalMoore.com and Subaru. Clicks. Subaru with all-wheel drive and all-star ratings. This 2009 Subaru Outback is only $17,988 after discounts and rebates. RoyalMoore.com. Save time and money.
Stand by the Final Cut in 3, 2, 1, cue 'em. The Final Cut begins with news from across America tonight as Las Vegas health officials want to keep an eye on the elderly so they can stop abuse. Now you can see here, hidden cameras catch caretakers abusing people who live in nursing homes. The National Center on Elder Abuse says more than 1 million Americans over the age of 65 are victims each year. Nevada wants to join Texas, New York, and New Mexico. Those states have already passed similar laws to allow camera monitoring. The search for a missing 13-year-old cancer patient and his mother is heading south of the border. The Minnesota boy and his mom have been on the run since a judge ordered the teen to start chemotherapy if it would help him live. Minnesota police say they are looking for them in Southern California and Mexico. Doctors say the teen has a cancerous tumor in his chest, and without chemo, he will likely die. His parents prefer alternative medicine. 2 people are dead and 6 hurt after a deadly shootout at an Arizona graduation party. Police say a man got into a fight with his ex-wife late Saturday, got a gun from his car, and opened fire at a graduation party. His ex-wife and another man were killed. When police got there, an officer was shot in the arm. 2 kids who got caught in the gunfire sustained minor injuries. Someone fired shots in a Texas neighborhood and a bullet hit a little girl in the head. The victim's mother woke up suddenly to find 3 bullet holes in her home's doors and 3 more in the window yesterday morning. Witnesses say the mother ran out of her home holding the little girl in her arms.
We just kept hearing screaming and yelling, and then the lady she came running outside. She came running outside. I thought she was hit, but she said her daughter was hit.
He also says a woman sat down on the curb with her daughter in her arms until the paramedics arrived. Police say they aren't sure who the intended target of the drive-by shooting is. However, they are talking to the girl's uncle, who police arrested just 2 days before the shooting. The girl remains in critical condition tonight. The Final Cut heads to California now, where a woman put up a sign saying, "Hit a cat and I'll hit your kid." An angry woman got a lot of attention from drivers after she put the sign up in front of her house.
You don't want me to hit your kids, so don't hit mine. You hurt mine, that's just like if I went and ran over your kid. basically that's what it was intending.
Now, she decided to take action after a driver ran over and killed her cat on the bike lane. She says drivers regularly speed by at 65 miles per hour instead of the posted speed limit of 35. The sign has caused drivers to slow down, if only to look at it. She has since changed the sign to, "I watch for your kids, so please watch out for mine." Her mind changed when she calmed down and she decided to put it in more understanding terms. A New York City store gets swarmed, but not by eager customers. You can see here thousands of honeybees taking up residency at this Manhattan video store. The hive took over an adjacent abandoned building and made their way next door. Some people say the infestation really made them nervous.
There's a hive inside the walls leading upward. They say somebody is on the way, but they're taking a long time to get here.
When I got here, it was already like 1,000 bees in there. But then they came out, there were more. They were like in a pack.
Wow, and bee experts were called in to remove the hive. The store is expected to open back up sometime this week. A police officer trying to talk to a man about a stolen lawnmower ended up going on an unexpected ride, and it's all caught on camera. Alabama authorities say the suspect jumped into his car when the officer approached him and took off. But the officer held on to the car. The officer is dragged around a gas station parking lot before he rolls free and begins firing at the suspect. He remains on the loose tonight. The officer ended up with an injured ankle. Police in Iowa say they found this car caught on a power pole. Officers say a man stole the car but hit a utility pole. He then got out but forgot to put the car in park. The car rolled backwards, jumped a curb, and rolled up the guy wires of another pole. A New York City woman is dead tonight, another victim of the H1N1 outbreak. Health officials say the woman was in her 50s, had an undisclosed health condition, and died over the weekend. This is the city's second H1N1 related death. An assistant school principal died from the virus about a week ago. 18 U.S. soldiers in Kuwait are reportedly sick with the flu virus. Today, the country's government said the soldiers tested positive for it when they arrived in Kuwait. Now, this is file of soldiers in Kuwait. Soldiers have not been in contact with any of the Kuwaiti population. So far, there aren't any known cases among U.S. soldiers stationed in Iraq. In headlines from around the world tonight, at least one person is dead and thousands of others are trapped after extreme floods hit Australia's east coast. Emergency crews are busy trying to rescue as many people as possible. You can see here just how much damage the torrential rains have done, flooding countless streets and homes. The region has been declared a natural disaster area. The Iranian government has shut down Facebook until further notice. An Iranian news agency has suggested the move is aimed at stopping supporters of the reformist presidential candidate from using the site for his campaign. They say he has been relying on Facebook to reach out to younger voters before the June election. The Pollicut goes local now with a search for Fox 12's Most Wanted. A homeless man is being hailed as a hero after he helped two boys who were being robbed. Salem police say it happened on Monday near Cascade Gateway Park. KPTV's Brent Weisberg is here with more on the story. Brent.
David Hugan says that it was the last thing he ever expected to see in broad daylight, a group of teens beating up on two younger boys. He says when he saw it all go down, he knew he had to act quickly. David says on Monday he was driving his car through the Walmart parking lot when he spotted the group of boys pushing the two teens around. Now, David is actually homeless and says he took out his camera and started snapping pictures. Remarkably, David says he took pictures while calling 911. That's when the thugs realized what he was doing and set their sights on him. He says one of the teens ran at him, screaming and yelling. David says that the teen had a pipe in his hand, that he tried to get away as fast as he could, fearing for his safety.
It's an empowering feeling, actually, because I feel like, you know, when you're homeless, you feel kind of helpless, and you don't feel like you've got a lot of power and a lot of control over your life. And this was one time I really had control over the situation, you know, over their safety, my safety, and I could make a difference. And that's really what it's about. It's making that difference.
David says after he got into his car to drive away, the man with the pipe started pounding on his car. It left several scratches and dents. Now, Salem police say they have very few leads in this case, and they're asking the public's help. If you recognize the man in the picture, you are urged to contact authorities. Reporting live tonight, Brent Weisberg, the 10 o'clock news.
Hollywood is buzzing tonight as a sequel takes the top spot at the box office, but it's not the one many expected to win the weekend. Night at the Museum, Battle of the Smithsonian, starring Ben Stiller and Amy Adams, was in first place this weekend with an estimated $52.5 million. Coming in behind that is Terminator Salvation. The fourth movie in the franchise made $43 million and 13 more on its opening day Thursday. And still sticking around the top is Star Trek with more than $21 million. The unlikely singer who's part of the competition for Britain's Got Talent is now one of the final 8. Susan Boyle sang twice this weekend, performing the song Memory from the musical Cats on the American Idol-style show. Sometimes awkward-looking Scott has received praise from lots of celebrities, including Oprah Winfrey, Demi Moore, and even Simon Cowell. The finals for the show are next weekend. Of course, she's gained fame on YouTube as well with that singing performance on the show. And that is Fox 12's Final Cut for tonight. Planning a barbecue with your friends and family? The food safety tips you need to know about to protect yourself and loved ones.
You're watching the 10 o'clock news. First, live, local.
Fox 12's mobile newsroom brings you the most up-to-date local news. And now with Clear, super fast mobile internet service, Fox 12's news coverage is better than ever. How about you? Video chat, stream movies, and download music at the same speed as Portland's local news leader. For more information or to sign up for Clear, go to clear.com.
The Ashley Furniture Home Store Memorial Day Factory Authorized Sale is this week only. Factory authorized prices. This 3-piece queen bed, only $299. Plus no interest till 2011. Come visit us in Tanasbourne, Clackamas, and Salem.
What are you waiting for? You may never have this kind of buying power again. Now's the perfect time to get an amazing deal on a new Toyota. And now, you can lease the sporty 2009 RAV4 for just $249 a month and get $1,000 in bonus lease cash. Hurry into Toyota's perfect timing event today.
The time to buy is now during Kelly's Memorial Day sale. At Kelly's, save up to 40% on refrigerators, washers,